Okay, I do believe we're finally live. Apologize for being a few minutes late here. My internet was not wanting to cooperate. And those of you that know that I moved recently knows I moved into the boonies and we do not have good internet out here. We have satellite internet, which doesn't work for live chats, but we also luckily have DSL, which works for the live chats, but is slow as Christmas and as low resolution as Christmas. Well, I don't know if Christmas is low resolution. But it's, for me, everything's low resolution if I don't have my glasses on. Everything I view the world in 144, resolution. So, welcome to Shooting It with Yankee. As usual, I am the Yankee Marshal, and this is Shooting It with Yankee. I should say, like I've said all 3 times already. This is where I have just a one-on-one conversation with my audience. So sometimes it's not that. Sometimes I have guests on, like last week, and we'll try to do that more often because that really reduced how much I had to talk. I didn't have to fill every second saying something. So that was a lot nicer in some ways. And I want to say thanks again to those guys that showed up last week and were the other side of the argument. Oh, and for people out there that were like, oh, you got 3 people on and none of them agreed with you on everything. That was the point. When I put out an invitation for people, I didn't say, hey, people who agree with me, come on, or I didn't want, 2 people who took my side and 3 people who didn't. I wanted just people who didn't. I mean, what's the point of having a debate with people that agree with you? So that was kind of the point, that they would disagree with me on at least each one of them would disagree with me on at least every topic. There was a lot we agreed on, but not everything. Let's see. As always, get better internet. The resolution is crap. Yeah, I can't get better internet out here. If I could, I would, but I can't. I would pay for it. I'm paying a fortune for what I got right now. Because you got to think, I have 2 Usenet satellites. Those each cost me $100. Then I've got DSL because of where we're at out here. That's $60. So I'm paying $260 a month for shitty internet service. So I would be more than willing to pay for better internet. If they brought good internet out here and said, you're going to get amazing internet, but it's $500 a month, I'd pay for it because I would want it. But especially if they came out and said, well, because to cover the cost of putting it out there, it's going to be $500 a month for the first year. And then it goes down normal prices. I'd be like, sign me up. Because, yeah, it's bad out here. Feel bad for your boys, low quality porn videos or porn. No, the Usenet works fine for that stuff. It just doesn't work for live chats because there's that big delay, because every time you do something, you have to send a big signal to the satellite, and the satellite's got to send the big signal back down all the way from the satellite. There's no towers or anything in between. So every signal's traveling that whole distance through the air. So it makes a huge ping delay. So that makes it where live chats don't work real well. It starts to overlap on itself and doesn't do very well. Other things like streaming a movie, like watching Iron Fist last night, that does fine for that pretty much, but just doesn't do well for live chats. But to get on to topic here, this is where people can ask me pretty much any question they want to ask me. You can send it to my email at shootingleftofcenter@gmail.com. I try to get to as many of the emails as possible. Lately, I've been getting to most of them. Or if you have a question you definitely want answered, or you can just feel like donating to the puppy fund, you can do a live chat over here, click the little dollar icon to button and do a super chat. And that will get you popped up in a little balloon like Labby2 just did. And Labby2 popped up and says, hey, Yankee, have you shot your SIG 1911 yet? I still think you need a SIG TAC Ops in 10 millimeter. Well, it's funny you ask that, because here is my SIG 1911 right here. And let me see if I can pull anything up here on my phone. Let's see here. Yeah, I don't know if you're all going to be able to see it because of the crappy resolution, but this is me just a little bit ago shooting some pretty stiff loads in that SIG Sauer. They were pretty hot because I wanted to see how well hot 45 does. Oops, I didn't turn my phone off. But yeah, I've been out shooting it. I like SIG 1911s. And I like back now that they've gone back to the looking like a SIG 1911 instead of trying to make them look like every other 1911. Because if you remember there for a while, they tried to make it look like every other 1911. They called them like the classic series or something. I don't know what they called them, but they were traditional series or something. But I like it. I don't like how they don't do a full underlug on some of the guns here because you can see through right there a little bit, but it's not enough to bother me. But I just don't, they're not as refined as some 1911s. Like they're not as refined as a Kimmer, but they're in typical SIG fashion. They seem tankish, if you know what I mean. They're not heavier. They're really not really much heavier. They just feel solid. So I've been happy with this one so far. I rescued this one. This is a rescue pistol, which is why I don't care if it's got scratches and scrapes and stuff on it because they had it when it came. So, and I didn't pay for it. I got this gun at like over $500 under what it would cost me to buy it new. So that $500 is well worth putting up with some scrapes and some dings. So it doesn't bother me at all. If I ever want to, I can just bead best the side off. It's stainless steel, just have an all stainless gun. But I like the way this looks, and I don't mind the wear on it because I didn't pay for a new gun and end up with something with wear. But yeah, I did go shoot it. But I don't know if I need another 10 millimeter 1911. I bought that SIG TLE RL in 1911 in 10 millimeter. I don't know if I need another one right now. And I have another 45 1911 coming in. I'm not going to tell you about what it is yet, but I'm kind of right now trying to decide, since I'm getting away from 357 Magnum because I'm getting old and can't handle it as well. I'm trying to decide, do I want to stick with Tyrone Sis Trunk says, love your chats. Well, thank you. He donated the puppy fund. I'm trying to decide, do I want to stick with this for my carry? And I'm loving this gun. I just shot this today too. It's totally reliable now. Did a little work on it. I mean, I knew I was going to do a little work because it's not a true Browning high power. It's tit sauce. And even Browning high power is often sometimes need a little break in. My little tender loving care to make them perfect. This one took a little tender loving care and then some. And I've got the system on it here for the safe fast fire, what they call it. And a lot of people have asked me, well, if you pull the hammer back, will it disengage the safety? No, you can't pull the hammer back when the safety is on. So that will not work. And you cannot place the safety on manually. Some people ask me, well, can you put the safety on manually? No, you cannot. You only put the safety on by pushing the hammer forward. Then the safety clicks up. You only take it off by removing the safety. So in practical purpose, it's the same as carrying a gun cocked and locked. It just looks different, feels different. Gives you some advantages like not hooking on things. Now on a 1911, it's not that bad if you got a big beaver tail because you got this thing here covering your hammer. On a gun like this, you don't have that. You got your beaver tail covering it up there. Although I'm getting to where I kind of like the beaver tails. I was more of a duck type duckbill safety, if you know what I mean. Some of you out there will know what I mean when I say the duckbill types, not the GI types, the duckbill types. Let's see here. Chris Butari. Hey, Yankee, I have a 640 Pro Series with the Trijicon night sights. The rear sight moves way to the right after a few hundred rounds. Any idea on fixing this? Yeah, put a little Loctite under it and drift it back to where it goes. That should take care of your problem. In fact, I think a lot of the sight makers recommend you put a little Loctite under them. But you got to be careful. Some of those things are so tight that if you put a little Loctite under it, now you basically welded the things together. Let's see here. Let me go over and see if I've got any emails coming in. Oh, well, I was starting to say earlier, I'm trying to decide, never did finish that talk, if I want to stay with the 9 millimeter since we're getting away from 357 Magnum. Do I want to stay with this? Because like I said, this is awesome now. Love it. Or do I want to go to like a 1911 or a 45? I'd get less rounds out of this. I would get a little heavier, harder hitting bullet. I think I might get better hard barrier penetration out of this. But, it's trade-off in several different ways. But I'm really liking this gun. The only thing I don't like about this gun is I can't get new sights for it. So I can't have night sights on it. And I like having night sights on my gun. And the thing that's making me kind of turn away from this gun is the fact that I can't get sights. And I don't know if anybody here has ever bought a gun from a foreign company, like I made the mistake of doing on this gun. Well, it's not a mistake because I've always wanted a stainless steel frame for this model gun. So I got my stainless steel frame. So I should just be happy with that. But here's the thing. These aren't milled for traditional sights. Like a Novak rear sight doesn't fit this. They haven't been able to find a sight that does fit it, and neither have I. And when I contact the company, I get no response. And I've contacted them several times, no response. It's just like, not even do they give you lip service, they just no response. I finally got a response from someone who's just like someone on this side of the pond, let's say, and who's like in the distributor side of the business. And they basically said, I don't know. So no good to me. So that's one of the reasons I don't like buying guns from companies that don't have a basis here in the United States, because the customer service tends to be really bad. I got to turn the air on. Hopefully this won't be loud because it's getting hot in here. It's getting warm outside. Y'all tell me if this is loud. It ain't started yet. Okay, now it's started. Can y'all hear that bad? Is it going to be annoying, or should that be okay for everybody? Got a question here from JYN Jenny Network. Is that what it is? Jenny Network or Giny? The Giny Network? I don't know. They donate to the Puppy Fund, and I do believe that their little icon is a picture of a dog taking a dump. Want to buy a Smith & Wesson because of David Hogg. Never owned a revolver. I did the same thing. In fact, I got a video about that when David Hogg tried to blackmail Smith & Wesson and threaten for my business. I went and ordered a Smith & Wesson the other day because of it. So I'm with you on that part. Never owned a revolver. What 357 would you recommend? 686. What's the difference between the plus and the standard? Yes, you're right. 686 is what I would recommend if you like stainless guns. If you don't like stainless guns, I'm going to recommend a 19 or a 586. But if you like stainless guns, a 686. I know some people, for some reason, don't like stainless guns because I guess they're weird. Although I like the look of a blued gun better too, and a black gun looks good too to me. But stainless is easier to work with, easier to fix, etc. And the difference between the plus and the standard is the plus is 7 rounds. It's basically a 686 plus 1 round, but the gun is no bigger. They just drilled the cylinder different because of, better metallurgy and stuff. Nowadays, the cylinder can have more rounds in it. So it's, well, and of course the timing is different and stuff too, or it wouldn't work if you just put an extra hole in the cylinder, but it's just 1 more round. Instead of 6 rounds, it's 7. And it's definitely worth it. So, because there's no downside to that extra round, no extra weight on the gun, no less reliability, no reduced liability, no nothing. It's just positive, period. 1 extra round. Let me make sure I got everything here. Why is my chat not showing anything? I can't get off of that comment. Stupid computer. Please don't go full AARP. Well, I am about that age to go AARP, and I am retired. But I also bought a 10 millimeter 1911. But I'm afraid 10 millimeter will put me right back in the same spot that the 357 mag was. That it's too loud, it's damaging my already failing hearing, and that it's too much for my arthritis and my elbow. So this didn't hurt my elbow today at all. The 45. It is a little jumpy. I will have to say that there's a little bit of a muzzle flip to it, more so than I'm used to with my revolvers. And it's because if you look at the seam of the slide there, I'm way below, even as high up as I can go on that beaver tail. My hand is still got more than a 1/4 inch, probably 1/3 of an inch between the top of my hand, top of my thumb here, and the bottom of the slide, and all the energy is center mass here on this slide. So that's leaving quite a bit of pivot room there. And I shot it one-handed a lot today. Whereas if you look at on this gun, and I hold this gun normally, which would be right about right here. Here's the top of my thumb, and it's right about even with my slide. This one, even when I'm riding, even when I put my hand up high enough to ride the slide, the back top of my thumb and the first knuckle I'm talking about is still way down here below the slide. Can't get as high a grip on that as I can on something, say, like this. See, that's my thumb is right up there with the slide. And the back of my hand is pretty much, closer to this knuckle. This knuckle is how I judge where my back of my hand is on the gun. So this gives me a little higher grip, but this gives me a bigger round hitting the target. And there's some pretty good rounds out there. What I was shooting today is I was shooting, what was I shooting? It's defensive ammo. It's from Minuteman Ammo. I bought a whole bunch of it the other day. I've tried to see what it says over there. Hold on, I got to stand up and look. That's 10 mil. Where's the 45? Is it still in my bag? Hold on, I think it's still in my bag. There it is. 230 grain, 830 feet per second. Is that right? What do I say? Yeah, 230 grain, 850 feet per second, which is not real fast, because I'm getting out of my really good 1911 ammo. I'm getting 1,300 feet per second. Reliable ammo. And that ammo was very reliable. I had a single failure today with this guy. Put 500 rounds through it today. Not a single failure. So can't complain about that. Well, I could. Complain about whatever I want. It's my fucking show. But, is what it is. Those 230 grain rounds pushed up to 850 feet per second. And I've got some that are like 180 that'll do like 1,100. But choosing ammo would come later. Right now, I'm just deciding if I like the gun or not, because I do love 1911s. It's just that, and the other thing is with carrying the 1911, with this gun, I'm okay with a 4-inch barrel, 4.5-inch barrel. It was 9mm. With the 45, I want all the barrel I can get. So I'd be carrying the 5-inch because, like I say, with 45, I want all the barrel I can get to get the maximum potential out of it. And when I'm carrying it, makes no difference if it's 4-inch or 5-inch, because the holsters that I buy for 1911s, like that one I just got, that 1791 gun leather holster, it's for 4 inches or 5 inches. And that's what I see most holsters that are good leather holsters. They either fit the 4-inch and they fit the 4-inch and the 5-inch. And that doesn't mean that the 5-inch sticks out an inch below. It means that the 4-inch leaves an inch of empty holster and the 5-inch fills it. So my holster is going to come down just as far, whichever one of these I carry, going to conceal. This is going to conceal just as easily. So I haven't decided. Got a lot of decisions to make. Getting old sucks, people. I would recommend, I wouldn't recommend not doing it, because the alternative is not better. You don't get to go shooting at all if you do the alternative of getting old. I think I'm a little dehydrated for being out running around today shooting. I've got a headache. Justin Miller says, get the 586 L comp like Yankee. That's an amazing gun. If you've got the money to spend and you want a good revolver, that 586 L comp is fucking amazing. And if you want something smaller with one less round, which actually is smaller, the 19 would be actually smaller, and they've got that in the comp model now. And there's one sitting in my dealer, who I'm wearing a shirt from today and a hat from today, because they gave me a hat and they gave me a shirt. If you see here, they got their logo on the front. They got TYM over here, which they could just put Yankee, I guess. The logo on the back, this is all stitching. And then they've got Marvin on one sleeve here. There's Marvin. And then on the other sleeve is Sasquatch. So they made me a team shirt for their store team. I'm technically an employee there. I'm their product tester. So it puts me on their paperwork so I can handle their class 3 stuff. Let's see here. What did I got coming in over here? I just been babbling about my own stuff today as much as I've been answering questions, because I'm doing a lot of things right now and going through stuff. Tactical flip-flops. Yep, I got my tactical flip-flops on right now. And people say, well, whatever happened if you have to run in those? Well, I can run in them. If I have to run faster than I can run in these, I'll take them off. Bottoms of my feet are like leather anyway. I can walk down gravel. I can run down gravel roads. My feet have always, I don't wear shoes very often. So the bottom of my feet are so calloused, I can't even hardly feel them. It's not the diabetes. It's just the fact that my feet have such thick, nasty calluses on them. Now, a lot of people would scrape that all off. I'm like, hey, that's evolution as far as I'm concerned. I'm keeping that on there. Tactical jean shorts. I wear my jorts all the time. My family hates my jorts. My son hates my jorts. Makes fun of them. When we moved, there was a conspiracy to lose my jorts. and I found them. Found half of them, and I went and bought more because some of them got lost, which to everyone's sadness. But I like my jorts. Jorts are perfect as far as I'm concerned. They do make your legs look skinny, which I don't like because the ones I wear, they flare out the bottom because they're supposed to be straight leg, but they look like they flare because you don't. I got thick thighs, but my calves are not as thick as my thighs and my butt because of skating. And skating builds up your thighs and your upper part of your ass really big, really strong. So I've got really strong upper part of my legs and core because skating really builds up your core because you're constantly trying not to fall, which makes me look like a human turkey, which sucks. I got like the worst body type you can have if you ever wanted to get bulky, because I'm sway back for one. I look like a camel that's gone one too many miles. I'm sway back as fucking hell. I got a really strong core and a big ass and big thighs. So I look like a giant fucking duck walking around. I look like a duck in a ball cap. Let's see here. I wear jean shorts because my dong is long. That's not why you do it. Bow-legged. I wish I was bow-legged. If I was bow-legged, I'd have less friction problems. I like my jorts. I like them. They're comfortable. They're cotton. They're comfortable. You wipe your hands on them. I wipe my hands on them all the time. I try to keep a shop towel over my shoulder when I'm working. A lot of people will see that the fuzz on my shoulders and they'll think, you got dandruff? I'm like, no, that's where I keep a shop towel over my shoulder when I'm working. Because if I don't have something to wipe my hands on, I'll wipe it on my shirt or my pants, and I get yelled at for that. So, like I got yelled at the other night. We were eating chicken, and I wiping my hands on my shirt and pants, and I got yelled at in front of friends. Stop wiping your hands on your pants. I have to wash those. So it just wasn't, it was mean. Have your kids been secretly injecting meth or heroin in the last 6 years? Not that I know of. Why? Are you talking about have they been doing it or have I been doing it? Is it because I showed that picture the other day what I looked like 10 years ago? Actually, that picture was like 12 years ago, but still. I've got one that shows me, before I had kids and after I had kids. And there's only like 6 years in those pictures, but it looks like it's me and my dad. You look like a security guard for UPS. Oh, that'd be a step up from being unemployed. Security guard for UPS, that's a honorable position, I would think. Someone would actually, that's hard work and job. People come down on security guards. I'm pro security guard. I'm like, that's a fucking hard job. They're actually out there working and they don't make a lot of money. So, but the UPS part maybe not so flattering. But hey, it's a free shirt and I like it. I like it's got the Marvin and I already had the hat. The hat I already had to match it. The only thing is last night I showed, like on my Instagram, I showed my hat. My outfit didn't match my shoes because I wore this skating last night because I went to the gun shop before we went skating at about 6 o'clock last night. It was probably closer to 6:30. And they gave me the shirt last night. So I just took off the shirt I had on, put this shirt on, wore it skating. Then when I came home, took it off so that I could wear it again today when I went out shooting and for this. Of course, the video I filmed today, you don't see me in it. You see my hands because it's tabletop. Because I was talking about recoil buffers, the buffers for 1911s. I've always been of a mindset if they were needed, John Moses Browning would have put them in there. But then I'm like, did he have the technology to really make them back then? And then I'm like, well, someone pointed out to me that Wilson Combat uses them in all their guns. And I'm like, well, and the brand I have is Wilson Combat. So I'm like, well, maybe Wilson Combat knows something more about 1911s than I do. So I'll give them a try. So I'm actually testing some right now. So I'll see how that goes. Old Taurus better than new Taurus. I don't know. The Taurus revolvers that I looked at recently were top notch. So I can't really say that the old ones are any better. Now, as far as their polymer gun goes, I have no clue. But I can say that their old ones were kind of shitty. So I think the new ones would be better because the new ones I looked at, I saw that they were put together pretty well. I've heard good things from people, but I don't know because I don't have personal experience. But I would have to actually say it's the other way around. I'd have to say new Taurus are better than old. Let's see here. Did I get every question answered? I do believe I did. Now I can go over to emails and quit blabbing about stuff that no, oh, no, I didn't. Timothy M. Thomas, your thoughts on Winchester Hybrid X 9mm plus 124 grain. You know, I think I have some of that back there, and I think I've tested it before. I didn't think it was horrible, but I didn't think it was the greatest thing that ever came to ammo again. Let me see if I can find a picture of it to show people here, so that I can, when I'm giving my opinion of it, it will make more sense. I think I have a box of it back there still. I think I've got a box. I could go back there and look at the box that I got of it. Let's see here. I don't know if I can find a picture of it. Yeah, here it is, right here. Open link, new tab. No, that's not what or is that what I'm going to do? No, open image in new tab. Oh, that picture is way small. I thought it was going to be bigger when let me see if I can shrink it down to the point where it actually shows up over here. But here's the funky ammo that he's talking about, because it's hard to explain it without being able to see it. Okay, here. Can you all see that? Did I come in big enough to see? There is like a that polymer compound bullet up here in the front, like the Arex bullets right here. And then there's a jacketed part behind it right here. And then there's these little, you don't really see it in here, but instead of being a solid lead filling, it's like little lead pieces. And they're not like BBs, they're like rods, like little lead rods that are inside this casing behind the plastic, the polymer part. So the point, the purpose of these is that the center penetrates very well because it's a solid object. It's not, it's not lead. It's not going to compress as easily. So it's got good penetration. Then behind that, you got these little rods that will spread out through the body and cause damage in wider area, like maybe make something bleed. And then you also have the copper casing that will expand like a hollow point. So you're getting like the best of all worlds with it. And when I tested it, now granted, I couldn't do any gel testing because I don't have any gel, but I read a lot of gel tests on it. And I was not disappointed with it. Now, I don't know if it all has that rod stuff in it. I think some of them might just have solid lead backings now, or they might have even changed it since then. But it seemed to do pretty good. I mean, it was reliable out of my guns. It was dead center accurate as far as it can be for me. Ran well. So and the science behind it is fairly sound. It's just a very complicated round. And if I remember correctly, it wasn't the cheapest rounds you could possibly buy. So I like it, but is it the next generation of ammo and is it worth the extra money? I don't know. I would have to do a lot more research on it before I made that decision. Let's see. And that was from Timothy M. Thomas, who donated to the Puppy Fund. Why not use 357 SIG instead of 357 mag? Because I don't really have a 357 SIG gun that I'd want to carry. I mean, I could turn some of my 40s into 357 SIGs, but only 357 SIG guns I have are like either I could put my 229, which is big and bulky and heavy. It's my stainless one. And if I'm going to do that, I might as well go to something else. And here's the thing. The 357 SIG doesn't give you a whole lot of extra capacity. They make this gun, or not this one, but they make a similar gun to this SIG right here, what they call the Nightmare. They make that in a 357 SIG. And if you get the 45 version, you get 8 rounds in the magazine, 1 in the chamber. But if you go to the 357 SIG version, you get 8 rounds in the magazine, 1 in the chamber. There's no jump up. So I'm like, well, if it was 1 extra round, it'd be worth it to me. But with the 357 SIG, you're still going to get a lot of report and a lot of recoil if you get a hot 357 SIG. So that's what I'm trying to get away from, because I'm trying to be able to use my right arm for a little longer of my life. So, Oh, missed another one up here. Jerry J. Gee donated and says, Yankee, what holster for 320 RX? I used Renaissance holsters. If you want to check out Renaissance firearms, just type in Renaissance firearms holsters, and they'll pop up. That's what I used for my 320s. Tactical Jackalope says, what do you think of the midterm? How do you think the midterms will go? I'm not optimistic because we don't seem to be able to have any happy medium in this country right now. Like, we can't get a Democrat that will stand up and say, you know, I want to do things about mental health in this country, and I want to put more money into the schools so that we have a stronger economy in the future. And you know, they'll say all these things, and I'm like, yeah. And then they say, and then I want to get rid of guns because we want to stop school shootings. And I'm like, oh, nope, bye. And then on the other side, you'll see Republicans come out and say, you know, I want to limit the role of government, and I want to strengthen the role of the people and give power back to the states and blah, blah, blah. And I'm like, yeah. And then they go, and I want to be tougher on our enemies, and I want to, you know, be tougher on immigration. And I'm like, yeah, okay, good. I'm all for those things. And then they go, and then I want religious people to stop being picked on. And I want, you know, to give corporations more power, take away regulations. And I'm like, well, then fuck, you lost me too. So, and I think most of the people in the middle are, when you can't choose one or the other, when you're not totally happy with either, you go with whatever's not in power. And I think that's what happens a lot. So I don't see great things happening in the midterms, but I could be wrong. Let's hope, but we'll see. I would love to see a bunch of pro-gun Democrats and non-regressive Republicans get elected, and then they could work out their differences. You know, if we took the constitutional issues away from both sides, I would love it to be 50-50, because that way they can talk about how to best serve the states and how to best serve education, how to best serve, because they would have different viewpoints. It's when they get into that stupid the zealot stuff, you know, like the left is zealot level anti-gun for no reason I can think of, and the right is zealot level serving big corporate interests. So you lose both of them. They both lose me. So I think I got everything answered over here now. Let me go down to the bottom. Fat Boy Rubio in a bathhouse. I don't know what that's about. Do you consider yourself a single issue voter? No, I've never been a single issue voter. To me, saying I'm a single issue voter is like saying I don't think very much. You know, because here's the thing: if someone came out right now and says, I'm strongly pro Second Amendment, I think the Second Amendment is the most important right we have, and I will defend it staunchly when I'm in office. But then they say, but we got to do something about this First Amendment. This has got to be taken away because it's being abused on the internet, blah, blah, blah. I'm not voting for that guy. Because if you're taking away people's First Amendment, then you'll easily be able to take away their Second Amendment. Same thing, the other way around. If someone takes away the Second Amendment, you can easily take away their First Amendment. Those two are necessary for each other. So yeah, I can't be a single issue voter. I have to weigh the consequences on all sides. Go old school, 45 ARP NATO hardball. Nah, the primers are too hard in that shit. 10 millimeter because they don't make 11 millimeter. But I'm just thinking the 10 millimeter is going to give me the same issue the 357 mag did. It might be too punchy. But I honestly don't think a 10 millimeter 1911 recoils as much as a 357 Magnum revolver. So don't get me wrong there. I'm not saying that, because people will be getting on me about that if I say that. I'm just saying it might not be enough of a drop to counter the pain I feel after I go shoot 357 Magnums for the day. Like, I put 500 rounds of 45 through this today. 500 rounds. I'm not suffering any ill effects right now. Usually if I put 200 rounds through my revolver, I come home and I can't use my arm. I'm just like that. This is just going to be like this for the rest of the day, because my arthritis is killing me and my elbow stopped working. So yeah, it's trade-offs you got to make when you get old. Let's see here. Anyone hear what? I have not dropped USCCA yet. I just haven't had a chance to find something else, and I don't want to be uncovered while I find something else. I need to remember that. But every time I think about doing that, I think about something else I got to do, like get my credits list together or get the new list for patches sent out. And so it's a lot of stuff happens. Okay, here, let's keep it going. Let's see if I've got any questions. I think I got everything over here. Oops, nope, I didn't. I missed one. From Labby 2. Well, how did I get up there? Yankee, if Democrats retake the House in midterms, do you think that they will try to impeach Trump? I actually don't think they will. I don't see him going away through impeachment. And plus, I don't think any of them want Pence as president. So I don't see that happening. I might see him retiring towards the end of his term, but I don't see him being impeached. I mean, there are some hardcore zealot, like what's her name? Maxine Waters or whatever her name is, who will try, but she's gross. No, I mean, gross is in like, she's just not a smart person. People get mad at Trump when they say she's not a smart person. And I'm like, well, that would be like getting mad at him for saying, hey, I think Cory Booker's black. He is black and she is stupid. So, grease your chair. You can't grease them. It doesn't work. I've tried to make this chair less squeaky. It doesn't work. Let me see here. What are people talking about over here? Let me go over here to the emailed questions. Slim Cowboy is asking, Yankee, please check out this story. This is a travesty of justice and maybe with some noise from the government. Okay, I'll check that out later because I can't check it out now because I'm doing this. I'm kind of busy right now. Slim Cowboy. Well, that wasn't Slim Cowboy. I'm reading the wrong emails with the wrong names here. Here's the one from Slim Cowboy. Slim Cowboy says 586 drawling. He said drawling, DRAWLING in the background. Hey, Yankee, I was curious if you had any more information on the person that did the drawing of your 586 L comp. I saw you did a couple videos mentioning it, but you kept pronouncing his last name differently, and I haven't been able to find any information on him doing web searches. Let me see if I can find how to spell his name. He's on my Instagram feed, so I will look on my Instagram feed and see if I can find his name. My sister's telling me to buy my mom a cell phone. Let's see here. She's got a cell phone. I just bought her a cell phone. What'd she fucking do? Well, she did drop it in the river when she was here. Let's see here. Because I remember, oh, there goes my phone. And I'm like, oh, fuck, I paid for that phone. Let's see here. Get on my Instagram. Let me see if I can find something by him. There's G-Webs and his white puppy dog. Marshmallow. Should have been named White Fang at the very least. I'd see if I can find this guy's last name. I will be thrilled. Because I can never pronounce it. It starts with an L, I think, or is it an M? Is it an M or an L? You know, one of the two. Let's see. I'm a looking. Come on, I know he posted something the other day. I remember looking at him doing the little dotty dot with the 1911 drawing. So it should be in my feed here. SpongeBob, the Enterprise. My feed's all gun stuff. That's one thing that I do watch a lot of gun stuff on is Instagram. On YouTube, it's not a lot of gun stuff, but on Instagram's all gun stuff. And for some fucking reason, Interview with a Vampire stuff comes up. And I've never looked up anything Interview with a Vampire. And I keep doing stop showing these results, but it never goes away. Aha, here he is. It's Drawnfire, DRAWNFIRE _ Lauren Mitchke, LORINMICHKI. I will spell it here in the chat. This is his Instagram feed. So if anybody wanted to contact him, DRAWN. Which button is the underscore? I never can get the dash in the underscore. Right. Drawn Fire. Lauren Mitchke. Is that right? Mitchke? What kind of name is that? Like a Monchichi. But there, that's the guy who did the picture. Put that in your search browser and you should be able to find him. Does good work. I liked it. Let me go here over to questions. Wilson Brigadier or Centurion from Mark Livingston. I'm partial to a Brigadier. I mean, the Centurion is nice, but I mean, you get what's like that much less barrel, that much less on the gun. The Centurion, just a few other little things. I'm just partial to the Brigadier. I've always liked a Brigadier. I have a stainless Brigadier. I have the Wilson Combat Brigadier. I do not have that newest Wilson Combat yet, which I'll have to get eventually. But the money I was actually saving to go to the Wilson Combat Beretta that was coming out, that they just started doing pre-orders on, I was saving money for that. And then David Hogg had to go open his big mouth and go, hey, we're going to put Smith & Wesson down big. I'm like, well, I'm going to buy a fucking Smith & Wesson. Smith & Wesson. Fuck you, buddy. I know he's just a kid, but and people are like, no, he's 18. That's still fucking kid to me, or 19 now, I guess he is. Still a kid to me. I still turn a 19-year-old over my lap, bust their ass, which has obviously never happened to him in his life. But to be fair, it doesn't happen to my kids either, because I don't do it, because it makes me feel bad more than it makes them feel bad. I found that I can better punish my kids by embarrassing them in public or just taking away power cords. I'm really big on power cords. I'm like, oh, there comes the power cord from your television, and I'll see you get this back when you deserve it. I'm pretty big on that. I've threatened to take a door off the hinges once or twice, too. That's the worst thing you can do to a teenage boy. I'm going to take your door off your bathroom and your bedroom. Yeah. How's that? You're going to have to masturbate in public. Of course, I don't know if I want to push him down that road. He's a kid, but you act like a child. He is a kid. He's just a kid. That David Hogg, just a kid. I take it. I don't know when we started in this country pretending that kids had all the answers, because kids have no answers. Kids have feel good, easy solutions that aren't really solutions and don't really work. Don't address any actual problems because they're kids and they don't have any experience. An 18-year-old could be highly intelligent, but he still doesn't have any experience. Just like an 80-year-old can have tons of experience and still be dumb as a fucking rock. People always say, with age comes wisdom. I was like, no, with age comes experience. And if you don't possess the tools to turn those experiences into actual learning events, then you can just be a fucking dumbass 80-year-old. There's just as many dumb 80-year-olds as there are 30-year-olds. You dumb, you dumb. Loki Rising is saying, well, I always called him Lock something Rising. Thanks for updating the Patreon list. Saw my name on it. Makes me feel important. Well, good. I'm glad you feel better. I worked as a therapist for a long time, and I dealt with kids a lot. When I first came to Portland, I worked with Janus Youth, and I worked with Willamette Bridge programs. And when you're talking to an 18-year-old kid, a lot of them, especially a lot of the homeless kids, were incredibly intelligent. Should be straight A students in high school and college. But their lack of experience made them make the wrong decisions when they were trying to deal with the trials of their life. I don't trust an 18-year-old just like, oh, he's smart, he'll make all the right decisions. No, I know they're going to make the wrong decisions because I know they don't have the experience to make the right decisions. They don't have all the information. Just because you're smart doesn't mean you have all the information. And a lot of information comes only from learning and from history and from experience, and they don't have that. So the people who try to capitalize on David Hogg and his little lesbian friend, it's garbage. And when did we start pretending like kids are right about things? Yankee, have you ever had problems with a revolver jamming or locking up on you? Not really, no. I've had some timing issues on revolvers before. In fact, I got little scars above my eyebrow right here where my uncle shot I think it's like an old Iver Johnson break top gun right next to me. Boom! That was so far out of time, it shaved about a third of the bullet off the side of the off the one side, and it just sprayed hot lead right on my face right here. So I got a hot load to the face, and it left a scar. So people out there think the hot loads to the face are just like, it's just once. It won't be, nobody will know. Yeah. Tell me these little pockmarked scars I got right here. Don't pay for the spanking. You can definitely get that from free. I am sick. Okay. Spanking children only works with young children. A teen will just laugh right at you. See, I don't even think it works with young children. It just makes me feel bad. And I don't want to take some small child who looks to me for protection and trust and love and teach them that it's okay to hit people you love, because it's not okay to hit people you love. That sticks with you for your whole life. So that should be avoided at all costs, not just used as a casual means of telling somebody something. So I just don't believe in hitting. I don't think it does any good. I think there's other things that do much, much better. It's just as bad to me. Hitting is just as bad as the people who try to reason with their 5-year-old. Like you'll see people in the store. Like I actually watched a lady once in a store talking to like a 4-year-old. Well, how do you think it makes mommy feel when you act like this? I was like, bitch, he don't give a fuck how it makes you feel. He's all about him. He's 4 years old. It's his world. You just live in it. Stop fucking reasoning with him. Yank his ass up, take him out of the store, and don't buy him something. You told him you bring him there to buy him something, but and as the lady was going on, she's telling the cashier, "Oh, well, I told him I'd buy him something." So, man, well, you tell him, "Well, I told you I was going to buy you something," but your behavior just lost you that, and that's a good, better lesson to learn right there. That your actions have consequences. Turn phone booth into masturbation stations, I guess is what he's trying to say. I don't want people masturbating in public. You know how ugly most people are? Most people are just too fucking ugly to masturbate in public. To be honest, though, I'm one of the person, it wouldn't bother me if people just openly masturbated in public. I'm not going to watch. I don't want them to do it anywhere they're going to make a mess. There should be like places where you got to do it over here because, someone washes it down every hour or so. I'm just not that offended by other people's sexuality or their bodies that it bothers me one bit. I'm not going to do it because I'm pee shy, much less masturbation shy. I got to know you really well if you're going to be in the room while I'm masturbating or have hired you for the hour. So not something I'm going to do casually and just in front of friends or people I know. Don McCollum donated to the Puppy Fund, but he didn't ask any questions. You sound like a snowflake on your views of spanking kids. No, I sound like someone who has kids, and I found like someone who's a psychologist who's dealt with kids and a lot of their issues, and a lot of their issues come from physical abuse when they're younger, and it doesn't do any good. Physical abuse does no good in teaching children right from wrong. All it does is teach them that convincing people through violence is something that we do as adults. And that's how you end up with people who like, you disagree with me, I'm going to punch you in the face. That just perpetuates a lot more of that. I'm an adult. I'm not only am I so much bigger and stronger than them that hitting them is kind of ridiculous. I'm smarter than that. And I can find ways that actually do them, that actually teach them a lesson in a way that they don't like a lot more than getting spanked. I would take a spanking when I was a kid if it didn't mean I wasn't going to face any other repercussions all the time. So it just doesn't do any good. I mean, I've spanked my kid once or twice and I'm just like, this ain't do any good. I know it doesn't do any good. And it makes me feel bad. So why would I do it? Yankee, have you ever been to Burning Man? No, I'm not. No, I'm not interested in a bunch of fucking hippies out in the middle of the desert rolling around on each other, setting things on fire. Doesn't interest me at all. Kyle Sense, I picked up an SP-101. You've got a Smith & Wesson fucking logo on your name and you tell us you picked up a Ruger. What a shame. But let's go on. I picked up an SP-101 in 357 mag with a 2.25 inch barrel. My question is, does the ammo that says designed for short barrels actually better for snubby barrels, or is it more of a gimmick? It is better for short barrels because it's not got to do with just the best weight bullet for the barrel. It's the best weight bullet and the best powder combination. The fastest burning powder they can actually put in it to still get some oomph out of it. Most of the stuff I've seen for shorter barrels is 38 special, but I'm assuming they make some for 357 Magnum too. But it's just a faster burning powder so that more of the powder burns behind your bullet instead of burning at the end of the outside the barrel. So, I mean, yeah, it actually does make a difference. March Livington, some people need to learn to be punched. Some people need to be punched in the face. Yes, I agree. But it doesn't need to be the go-to for most people when they think someone disagrees with them or they want to change someone's opinion. That's not an intelligent point of view to have for that aspect. But yeah, there are some people that need punched in the face. Believe me, I've punched a few of them in the face in my life, and I've been punched in the face a few times in my life. I've been punched in the face a lot. That's why my nose is plastic and cartilage from the back of my ear right here. That and very unsuccessful attempt at playing goalie for hockey for a while. Was not good at that at all. I was good at stopping the puck with my face. That's about it. What did they talk about? What are they asking about what's his face tested? Paul Harrell test. He's probably talking about the short barreled ammo. I've seen multiple tests on them, and yeah, it's not. People think it's going to be like, oh, it's going to make a 2.5-inch barrel like a 4-inch barrel or a 6-inch barrel. No, what it does is because that's got that better fast burning powder, it makes it still less than a 4-inch barrel, but it makes it more consistent. If you've ever fired full loads in a shorter barreled gun, the powder could either sometimes burn better in the barrel and sometimes burn less in the barrel and more of a burn outside. And you get kind of inconsistent readings from a shorter barrel. This gives you a tiny little bit of improved in performance. It gives you more power. And is it enough to make it a big difference to pay that much extra for the ammo? I don't know. I don't know how much they charge extra for the ammo, so I can't make that mathematical equation. But it gives you better consistency. That's one thing I've definitely noticed throughout every test I've looked at. It does give you better consistency in the shorter barrels. And a lot of times that's what people are looking for, consistency. I mean, you don't want 900, then 1100, then 850, then 1000. You want 850 the whole time. Let's see here. I'm trying to make sure I got all the questions answered over here so I can move on. I did. Let me answer this question here. Where did it go? I thought I saw one here. Okay, here. Alston Waldrop. Question. I have massive hands, braggart. Like close to 10 inches from my fingertips to the bottom of my palm. Well, I don't even know if is that big. I don't know what mine is from my fingertips to the bottom of the palm. But it ain't 10 inches. I'm 6'4", 200 pounds. Well, I'm part of that. I'm 200 pounds. So I'm a skinny guy. What would you suggest for a carry pistol? I'd say something with a thick grip would be my first choice. It definitely wouldn't be like a 1911. I don't think they work that great for big hands unless it's a double stack 1911. But yes, most double stack guns of any good size will work. If you want something that's really got a big grip on it, go get one of those FN57s. That thing, I've never met a person with a big hand yet that didn't like the FN57. Now somebody in here will say, I got big hands and I don't like the FN57. And I'll say, fuck off, Snowflake. Let's see here. Let's go over to the question. Oops. That's not what I wanted to do. There we go. That ain't what I wanted to do either. I get back to my questions. Okay, here we go. Let's see here. Oops, I got another one over here. Let me see what that one is first. Don McCullum. column. Yankee, what do you think of an X6 super match? I assume you mean the SIG X6 super match. I think they're pretty awesome. They're definitely not a carry gun, that 6-inch barrel, but that's what the 6 and X6 means. But they're really freaking cool looking. Especially if you get the whole setup with the, the over under thing and the attachments and all that other stuff. It's very freaking cool looking. The weighted front end thing. And if you're going to shoot competition or at the range, I guess it's an amazing gun, but I'm not a competition shooter, so it's not worth it to me. But if you're someone who likes to go out and make the smallest holes possible and in the best manner possible, I think it's an awesome gun. It's heavy as fuck though. But if it's a competition gun, heavy as fuck ain't gonna matter that much to you. You're not hauling around with you all day. How do I get out of their question? Okay, how do I get out of your question here? I'm busy. I'm online. Why are the neighbor kids in here knocking on my door? Okay. Fucking neighbor kids. Dick No here today. I wonder if Vincenzo Lombardo's here today because he wasn't here last week and I didn't get to announce the winner. The winner was I keep want to say Bruce something, but I don't think it's Bruce. I think it's something else like that. But they've already had their gun sent to them. So, and I think if I'm not mistaken, this week I get the giveaway too. But I'm gonna wait to do that next week so that I can advertise it a little bit first. So we'll just give one away this week. But I think Sporting Systems volunteered to do a second gun one week, so that'll be awesome. When the Yankee call Vinchenko, I don't know his number. Mom, go away. It wasn't my mom. It's like an 8-year-old kid from down the street who wants to use our, his brothers. Once he comes down and asks, "Can my brother use your gym?" I'm like, I don't care. It's just don't make a lot of noise. Let's see here. Let's get on to the questions. I don't want the little 8-year-olds using the gym because they'll get hurt. And plus, it's not good for your joints and stuff that age to be working out. So I tell them you can get on the treadmill, you can play with the stepper, stuff like that, but you can't lift the weights. The Paul Harrell rock salt video is brand new. I haven't seen that one yet. I haven't seen it. Would you still carry the lightweight Liberty Defense ammo? I would. If I was carrying a gun that I thought it would work great in, I would. I've still got some of it. I still carry it every now and then. The thing about it is it's so awesome that you don't even feel like your gun is loaded. But I still think it's going to do really good, a lot of damage up close. I don't want to get shot with it. My brother-in-law was an emergency room doctor for a while. I think he's still doing emergency room work, but he's got his own clinic too. And they hate that fragmenting ammo shit. They're like, you can never find all the pieces. You don't know where they're bleeding. Much better chance that they ain't going to make it if they've been shot with that stuff. Now, but does it slow them down faster? That's a different question. Does it make them bleed enough that they slow down quickly, or is it just a long-term thing? Can you carry at the Washington State Fair? I don't know. I've never been to the Washington State Fair. I would assume you probably can. I can't imagine they make you go through metal detectors to get into the Washington State Fair. I've been to the county fair over here, carried into that. The Clark County Fair, carried into that. 10 millimeter Liberty ammo is sweet. Yeah, I bet it is pretty good. What do you think of Super Vel ammo? Not familiar with it. Could be a burglar seat if you're home. No, it's not a burglar seat in my home. It is an 8-year-old that I know all too well. Him and his twin brother. When the weather cools off, I'm going to carry my Jericho this year. Isn't that the baby eagle, the Jericho? Raiders for life. High. Okay. Don't go. It's full of ugly people that are scary. Yeah, ugly people are always scary. Ugly people are pretty scary. Let's see here. Let me go back over here to the questions over here. I don't have any. I think I got everything from over here. Now you're all making me wonder how far it is from my fingertip to my hand. I gotta go get a ruler. I'll be right back. Do I have a ruler? That might be the first thing I need to figure out is if I have a ruler. I thought I had a ruler. Yep, here's a ruler. Definitely ain't no 10 inches. That's a giant hand. Let's see what mine is from the base of my palm to my fingertip. Because I know I've got like medium-sized hands. So let's see. Where's the tip of my palm? There's my fingertip. I'm right here. See, I'm just right at 8 inches. See, now that taken out of context, that'll make me look pretty good. We just measured, and I'm right at 8 inches. So I'm going to say I'm separating that out so people can cut that very easily. I just measured in front of everybody as my witness, and I'm 8 inches. Now, I'll put that on my one of my online profiles. So, yeah, 10 inches, that's a big hand. 8 inches. Yeah, right. You don't know. You don't know. I'd still be doing porn, or I'd be doing porn if I was giant at 10 inches like that. Like someone would just adjust. That's easy work. It's got to be good pay. Let's see here. What time is it? It's 5:06. We've done this for an hour now. About halfway through. Did anyone let me know if Vincenzo Lombardo is here yet today or not? Why is my camera so high? Am I low or is my camera high? Which is it? My chair has fallen quite a bit. Oh, it was me that was low. My camera was fine. Let me see if I can get it back. Oh, that's too high. You can see Mickey and them in the background. You don't usually see that. That's about right. Okay, I'm reading some stuff here. So Yankee, our local gun shop and its owner, who I've known for 25 years, just got everything shut down. His business is likely gone thanks to thieves. His place is a dump. Thieves broke in twice in a week. You think he'd have a more secure place? Gun shops are usually hard to break into. How'd they get in? Did his alarms not go off? Hell, this place right here, just my place is a fucking Fort Knox trying to get into it. There's a lot of places where people are like, oh, there's easy entry. But then they forget, well, but this easy entry is under video surveillance, glass break alarms, motion alarms. So ain't nothing in my house easy to get into unknown. I'm trying to read here while I'm moving. Let's see. Let me go over to the questions. I don't think I missed anything over here. Nope, I did not. So I can go over here. Hey, Yankee, do you have a home defense shotgun? If so, what is it? And if not, what would you prefer? I do have one. It's a Benelli M4. It's actually right up sitting in the corner in my bedroom right now. I need to get something to mount it, but it's right now it's just sitting in the corner. Man, I don't have any young kids in my house, so especially not to go in my bedroom. Even my sons are not allowed in our bedroom, period. They'll even ask me sometimes, can I go in there to get the cat? Because the cat are right in there. I'm like, no. You know the rules. You don't go in my bedroom. Bedroom's adult place. It's not. I go in their bedroom, because then well, you come in our bedroom. I'm like, yeah, because I own your fucking bedroom. You don't own my bedroom. When you buy a house and you tell me I can't come in your bedroom, I'll be all right with that. But you don't come in my bedroom. Kids aren't allowed in my bedroom, period. And they never have been. I've never let them come in our bedrooms. Even when the one was really little, people be like, oh, what if he wanted to come in? I'm like, no, stay out of the bedroom. Pinch Me Vampire says, I tried to get Paul Harrell to live chat with you, but to no avail, no response. Hit him up, Yankee. Probably afraid that he will be so attracted to me that he won't be able to compose himself. That's the story I'm going to go with. What are you hiding in this bed? Nothing. I don't think kids should go in adults' bedrooms. I have rules about kids. I don't let them in my bedroom, and I do not let their friends call me by my first name. I don't like kids calling adults by their first name. That's like when one of the little kids, like those 8-year-olds, when they ask me, what's your name? I'm like, my name is Mr. Atkinson. You can either call me Mr. Atkinson or Caden's dad. And it's just like even my son's older friends. You can call me Mr. Atkinson or Zyler's dad, one or the other, but you don't call me by my first name. It's disrespectful for a child to do that. I figure once you're 30, you can call me by my first name. Although I will say right now, to this day, my mother-in-law has passed, but my father-in-law is still alive. And when my mother-in-law passed, that was 10 years ago, I do believe. To the day she died, and till now with my father-in-law, I've never ever called either of them by their first name. I've always called them Mr. and Mrs. I've never called them by their first name. I call them Dr. and Mrs. Now, every great once in a while, I would refer to my mother-in-law as Miss Dolly, but never would I just say her first name. Don't call me David. It's Mr. Marshall. Now I don't let kids. I've never been really called David anyway. I mean, if people say David, I'm like, oh, me. But because there's too many Davids in my family. There's me, my grandfather, one of my uncles, and my brother is also named David. Sorry about your homie. 686 plus today or wait for 3-inch. Well, I mean, the 686 plus comes in 3-inch. Well, the one you're waiting for today, is that like a 4-inch? Because 4-inch is fine for carry. I see no problem with 4-inch for carry, but I think the 3 inches carry very easily. Like my Aunt Johnny. I got an Uncle Johnny. Johnny Darrell. My uncles are Johnny Darrell, Gary Scott, Danny Allen, Bobby Lee. I got several uncles. It's always the 2-name thing in our family. Like my aunt is Marion Kay. My mom is Pamela Sue. David means giant slayer. Saw that zip by. Got it on live chat tonight. It's moving a little faster than I'm used to. Let's see here. Let's go back over to the questions. Tim Allen. I don't think it's the Tim Allen. If so, give me a job on your show. Hello, Yankee. I have recently subscribed to your channel and became a patron. This photo is of my dog, Shorty, whom I went and removed from an abusive home. The question is, I have heard you use the word cuck. What does that mean? It's not a term I am familiar with, even though I'm going to be turning 53 in November. Well, and another thing, you have opened my eyes more on some things like racism, socialism. I also agree with you on nonviolent felons getting back all their rights after they have served their sentences. Yeah, I agree with that completely. Serve your time, you get your rights back. Is a 686 plus a J or a K frame? Well, it's definitely not a J frame. The J frames are the little ones. I don't understand. I think maybe he misphrased his question because surely Vincenzo Lamberto knows that the 686 is not a J frame. It's what they call the K/L nowadays. It's K. Or L, like 586 comp. What was the question on this one here? Oh, the cuck thing. Well, cuck is a word I've kind of tried to take away from certain people who love to use it to insult anybody who doesn't agree with them on their ridiculous stances. They'll call them a cuck because they don't believe me or because they have sympathy or blah, blah, blah. Basically, a cuckold is someone who watches their spouse have sex with someone else. But it's a racist term historically. Back in the olden days, it was a racist term, but it's more of a porn term nowadays. But a lot of people have been using it lately to say men who don't have the backbone to stand up for what's right, or they're snowflakes. It's the same thing. But I've just been taken away because, to me, like I'll say the cucks that defend the NRA, I'm like, well, they're so brainwashed, they're battered, they got battered wives syndrome with the NRA. Warren Williams, I am 19 and can't have a handgun. Well, you can have a handgun, you just can't buy one from an FFL. Don't want to keep my AR in truck. I'm talking like that because I'm assuming he's Southern. Considering a Kel-Tec sub 2000, what are your thoughts? I think Kel-Tec sub 2000s are garbage. That's what I think. I mean, they're actually probably the best gun Kel-Tec makes, because you know how hard is it to make a pipe with a trigger on it. But I'm not a fan of them. I'd rather get a cheap AR and put in there than I would a Kel-Tec. Let's go on over here, see if I missed anything, and see if I got. Why can I not get this to go back to? For some reason today, whenever I go to, it just pops it up out here and it won't go away. I don't know why I assume that guy's Southern. I just assumed he's Southern. Are you Southern? That way I don't look stupid. Pan through, make sure I didn't miss anything. I didn't miss anything. Good. I can go back over here to the emails. Nah, I'm from Washington. Damn it. Okay, maybe I'm just going to, I'm going to pretend I talked like that because I assume that you are mentally deficient. And I think the fact that you wanted to buy a Kel-Tec backs me up on that. So that accent wasn't Southern. It was a mentally deficient accent. And surprisingly, they're basically the same thing. Not so surprisingly. Have you finished the silver bullets yet? Nope. Haven't found anyone locally to reload them like I want yet. So I did get some offers from people that I could send the bullets to them. I'm like, yeah, you try to trick me into sending me you my silver bullets. That's something a werewolf would do. And then I'd get attacked the next day as soon as I found out they were in the mail. As soon as I said they were in the mail. Let's see here. Let's go back over to questions. That's one I already answered. There's an AR question that I don't really know the answer to AR questions because I'm not a big AR fan. So someone asking what would be the best first AR for someone buying a first AR. People in the chat answer that, so they don't know. I can get the 686 in 2.5 inch and use today, or wait for till I find a 3 inch. They are hard to find locally. All the 2.5 inches are fucking awesome too. Get one of those. I'd get that. I think that I love the 2.5 inches at 686s. That 357 Magnum out of a 2.5 inch barrel is still going to do the job. It's still, you don't lose that much from 3 inch to 2.5 inch. The amount you lose is about that much. So yeah, go for that one. Used, good price, probably, I'm assuming. Yeah, go for that. That was from Dan S. who donated. Let's see here. Wayward Carpenter. Hey, hi Yankee. Wondering what you think of season 2 of Iron Fist. I thought the first 8 episodes were great, much more kung fu fighting, but then Danny seemed to revert to season 1, whining bitch Danny. Thankfully, the last 3 minutes of the final episode saved the series, and I can't wait for season 3. Well, I've only watched 3 episodes so far. So I don't know about the entire series yet. I'm reserving judgment. The fight scenes are a lot more realistic this time. The last, they didn't look like fight scenes. They looked like he was doing like some sort of slow motion dance, and people were running into his body in different places while he was doing it. And then he was getting his ass kicked a lot. He's supposed to be the best warrior ever. So it's not, I like it better than last year's. Not really a leap there though. Last year's was horrible. But last year they portrayed him as being whiny, stupid, rash. You know, he's supposed to be like Zen. He would have nothing Zen about any of that. Can I get first dibs on your K6S when you're ready? I'm not selling my K6S. I'm keeping it. See reason to sell it. I'll want to keep it for when they stop making it. And I go, look, I bought one of these things back when they made a gun. Which I always slam the K6S for not being the best gun, but it's an awesome gun. I just don't like the double action only. I don't know why they went with that. It's a good double action only, if you like double action only, but Hector Caruli. Cthulhu. Why you send type questions in type so fucking small? I can't even see it. Hey Yankee, I heard you say that you sell an old handgun to be able to buy a new one. Sometimes if I don't have money to buy a new one, that's what I do. And if I sell a handgun, I have to buy a new handgun. That's my rule. How do you do that without losing your shirt? Your response will be welcomed. I don't really take that much of a loss on my guns. Guns don't really sell for that big of a loss, especially in a state that has sales tax. A lot of times you lose like 10% on the value of your gun because not only are they saving 10% on the gun, but then they didn't have to pay the sales tax. So if you're selling like $1,000 gun, you take $100 or $200, $150 off of it, then they don't have to pay another $100 in sales taxes. You know, they're saving a couple $100. And my guns are always in pristine condition. I don't like beat them up and then try to sell them. I take care of my guns. So I don't really take a bath on my guns. And a lot of times I'll trade. And trading is, you know, you can get what you want. You get like full value out of your gun trading. Because if I put a gun up for trade, I'm going to be like, okay, retail, this would be worth this. Second market, it'd be worth this. If I'm trading it, I want your item you're trading to be worth what this gun is retail. Your retail value has to be equal to this gun. So trading is one of the best ways to go. Too bad they don't make a single conversion for it. What's he talking about? What's Vincenzo Lamberto talking about? I don't know what he's talking about. Was he talking about maybe something I said the last question or something? Can I get first dibs? I don't know what he's talking about. What's Vincenzo Lamberto talking about? Check your email from Vincenzo from... Oh, that reminds me while we're talking about winter stuff. Someone sent me these. Someone... Aries Signs and Graphics sent me these pistol, TYMP Pistol Project Proud Second 2A Supporter stickers. He sent me like 30 or so of them. I got to figure out what I'm going to do with these. What I might have to do is do like one of the nights when I do my chat here, just do like a super chat thing where anybody super chats this much money gets one of these stickers. Yeah. I don't know what I'll do with it. And I want to give some to some people. There's some people I want to give one of these to, like the people that are on the decision committee for the TYMP Pistol Project. Who's texting me? I don't understand what that question means. It's my sister. See, first 32G for that phone. I don't know what you're talking about. So I'm gonna do shit called Mom's birthday's in like 4 weeks, and I'm like, it's fucking 4 weeks away. Amazon overnight shit, you know. So stop bothering me. Let's see here. Michael Sumner. Hey Yankee, I know that you've had negative experience with Fort Scott's munitions as a company. Yeah, I still keep using their ammo though. But how do you like the ammo's performance? Would you prefer Underwood, Lehigh, all copper bullets, or is it the difference significant? I'm not going to say I can notice an enormous difference. I like the tumble on impact design of the Fort Scott, but I also like the Extreme Defender and Extreme Penetrators from Lehigh. So I like them both. So it kind of comes down to, here's one thing comes down to for me. If I want Underwood, I got to order it off the internet. It's got to ship to me. That's an added cost. If I want Fort Scott, I got to go down to my dealer and spend $100 on a few boxes of it and be done. So to me, it's availability. I make my choice based on availability. I have Underwood ammo and I got a lot of it. I carry some of it. In fact, for the 1911s, if I actually carried this 1911, I'd probably carry it loaded with hollow points. And then I would keep one extra mag of Underwood Extreme Penetrators and one extra mag of Fort Scott Tumble Upon Impact bullets. But right now, here, I took the magazine out of this gun so I'd have it sitting here, but here's the magazine for it. And what I've got in it right now is 115 grain Tumble on Impact Fort Scott ammunition. So that's what I'm using right now. And the 90 grain, I think, is a better performer overall. But I don't trust bullets under 115 grain much as far as reliability is concerned, especially in stressful situations. So I like to stick to 115 grain bullet, to be honest. So that's what I'm carrying. But I mean, I obviously like them enough to carry them. Oops, I clicked the wrong button there. Everything went screwy. Make sure I haven't missed anything over here. What color lightsaber would you carry? Can I have Windu's purple one? I'll take that one. Didn't Mace Windu have a purple one? Although, to be honest, I think the red lightsabers look coolest, but bad guys, you know. Send one to me. I'm sending one to everybody who's on the committee. So I need to get the names of the people that are on the little committee to choose the winner every week. And I'm going to definitely send each of them a sticker. It's just a sticker, for God's sakes. It's what, 25 cents? I think you're all worth a quarter. Will SCOTUS take 2A case or won't happen ever? No, it'll happen eventually. Eventually, they'll have to. When there's enough contradicting rulings, they'll have to take it eventually. What matters is who will be sitting there when it happens. California guy, suggestions on horizontal OWB mag holster for CCW. Well, you know, I like the horizontal ones better, like you're saying here. The one I've got, I don't know who makes it. It's one of the ones that it wraps up around them, and then there's like a Velcro thing on the end. You can pull the magazine out, but you put it on your belt kind of like a sandwich wrap. It's like they're in this little thing, and then this big piece is hanging down, and then you pull that piece up under your belt and wrap it back around with Velcro, and there's like a little Velcro thing on the end. I don't remember who makes it, but that's what I got. And that was a really bad description of I'll send them to you. Okay, yeah. Send me the addresses of all the people, or the email addresses of all the people that are on the thing, and then I'll send them. Actually, send an email to me and all of them, with yourself, sending it, and that way I can just respond to all and say, "Hey, send me your address," and that way I'll have that heading, that responded heading, to be able to find everybody's address. Uber, so damn sketchy. I use Uber all the time now. I never used Uber until I was going to Vegas. I used to always just use cabs and stuff. And when I was in Vegas, I'd walk everywhere if I didn't use a cab. But Marco from gunchannels.com, he used Uber. And I was like, well, this is fucking easy. If this, guy can do it, or whatever he is, he claims he's like Colombian, which means, it means he's Mexican. But, dumb as a bag of rocks, but he can do it. So I'm like, if he can do it, I can do it. So I started using Uber, and then I'm like, wow, this is faster than cabs, way cheaper than cabs, nicer than cabs, because it doesn't stink like the last person who threw up in there. So I'm just like, wow, this is much nicer. I'm going to start using Uber all the time. So I use Uber all the time now. Like my sister will call me for a ride somewhere, and I'll be like, it's 8 o'clock in the morning. I ain't driving over to Portland at 8 o'clock in the morning to take you 10 miles. And I'll call an Uber for her to take her. And I make sure my son has it on his phone, because if he's ever stuck anywhere and I can't come get him, that he can get on Uber and come home. Or if he's out with friends and they're drinking or something, and I'm like, you don't get in the car with them, you call Uber and you come home. And I don't even care if you're out with friends, like say you're staying the night with someone, and I've told you this, if you're spending the night with someone and they go somewhere and they start drinking or doing anything where they shouldn't be driving, you do not ride home with them. You get in an Uber and you either come home or you can go to their house, or you can tell them, hey, I'll pay for everybody's Uber. We'll go back home. But do not get in the car with them. It doesn't mean you have to end your evening with them because they're drinking, but you can, if they make it back to their house in their car, or they agree to go with you in an Uber, you can go back to their house with them. You don't have to come home, but you're not to get in a car with someone who's been drinking. And so far, so good. We'll see. 5:30. Having carry insurance proves intent. No, he puts an LOL after that. Yeah. Well, yeah, it's like saying having homeowners insurance proves you plan to burn your house down. Wouldn't hold up well in court. People see all these things on TV and they think that that's what court is like. And they think, well, they can just come in and say anything they want. No. Everything you hear as a juror has legal merit usually, because anytime you want the judge has to know what the court, what the prosecutor and the defense attorney are going to say and what they're going to present to the jury. And if it's something that has no legal merit, he'd be like, no, you can't even mention that. And if they say something they weren't supposed to say, they'll be like, that's going to be stricken from the record. So that later when the jury goes over the transcripts and says, oh, let's look back and see what they said, that won't be in there. So Varg says, when are you going to do a follow-up on the Beretta Tomcat? Also, what's a good inside waistband holster for it? I don't know. I don't carry inside waistband with it. I don't even remember the name of the holster I've got for it, but I like it. I use it when I go out. I don't know if I'll do when I'm going to do a follow-up video. I don't know how much more I have to say about it, but I like it. My dealer got one in the other day, new one in. I guess they're still making them. It lasted like an hour before it sold, but he got one in. Umbrella Core. I've got such a freaking headache today. It's hard for me to concentrate. Let's see here. Damn it, Yankee, this is your fault. Let me see if I can open a picture of everybody. Well, you're not going to blame that cell case on me, though. Let's see here. Get the picture loaded up. There we go. He said, this is my fault. He switched from the Glock to the Rhino. He's also a skinny bitch. Are those skinny jeans? And they're definitely low-rise skinny jeans. And what's with those curtains? Oh, my God. Did your grandmother decorate your bedroom? And mirror over the headboard. So we know that they're kinky. Let's see here. And this I'm not taking credit for. This gold cell phone case, but this I will take credit for. He says it's went to Chiappa Rhino for carry. It's an awesome fucking carry gun. I definitely wouldn't say no to someone who's doing that. He is living with his mom, but why is he in his mom's bedroom? I don't think he's living in his mom's bedroom. Come on now, if he really had a parental influence in his life, would he have chosen that cell phone case or be wearing those bracelets? This is obviously someone who's out on his own, making his own mistakes. Maybe his girlfriend just has really gaudy taste, or his wife. He might be married. I don't know. There's nothing really wrong with what. Maybe he's just what is it? Who likes that stuff? What do they call Serbs? Man, they love that shit. They tassels and satin, and they love that shit. Marble. What's his name? Oscar. He might be Serbian. Might be Serbian. Someone just sent me a picture of their kid holding their AK. I'm not going to put it on the internet because it's a kid. But sent me a picture of his son holding his AK. He's making a funny face. Is that his mean face? That his I mean business face? Might be Colombian, maybe. Mexican American. Oh, you're Mexican. I didn't know Mexicans like the tassels, but I guess maybe they do. Is that your mom's bedroom? Let's answer that one. I love gold. Yeah, you should be Serbian then. He loves gold. Well, I gotta admit, I bought some gold ammo. Let me see here. Come on. Hey. So I never tell which one of these goes back on my head, which way. I was buying some ammo the other day, and I was choosing between two comparably loaded ammos, and I went with the one with the Montana gold bullets. If you're not familiar with them, they're very gold, hollow points, because I got gold bullets. I think they're pretty. So I guess I kind of like gold too. I've always liked metallic colors when I was younger. Next is my gold 1911. I've thought of doing a gold 1911. Gold ammo for, okay, gold digger defense. For a second there, I thought, oh, I'm going to have to ban somebody, but then I saw it's gold digger defense. They never had no problem with no gold diggers because I ain't got no gold. I ain't got no gold. You got to have gold for the gold diggers to come after you. Let's see. From Albuquerque, New Mexico, like the old one, but newer. Like you like the old New Mexico, but newer. Fucking fuck all the fucking fucks who fucking suck. Well, I guess that would be an easily agreed to sentiment. Let's see here. What a joke. Someone said butt hurt. What are they talking about? Oh my God, gold desk pop. I haven't done one today. I guess I can do one of these. I got my 45 right here. It's what I've been shooting in this all day. Well, not all of them. I shot a lot of Blazer brass too, but I shot a lot of these today. Probably shot 100 rounds of this today, at least. Maybe more. Though there's almost nothing left in the box. I think there was 250 in the box. There's probably like 30 or 40 rounds left in it right now. Let's see here. Let me move on to the next question. Headboard that holds shotgun. Hey, Yankee, have you seen the headboard that hides a shotgun and boasts fast access? I have seen it. I don't know how it works though, because I see them. They reach back and it falls in their hands. I'm like, I'm gonna hit that in my head. I'm going to end up in the middle of the night waking up every time with an AR or a shotgun hit me in the face. So I didn't know how that works. Let's see here. I don't see what this says. Yankee, have ever seen this yet? Oh, the Langdon Tactical 92. Yeah, I have. I've seen the Langdon Tactical 92. Do you carry a tourniquet as part of your EDC? If so, what kind? No, I don't carry a tourniquet on me all day. Just don't. I do have tourniquets in my car, and I'm not usually very far from my car during the day. I think the farthest I ever get from my car is like walking into a grocery store for a few minutes. I don't do a lot of like mall shopping or anything. So, and I do have like a little like shoulder bag thing. It's a Maxpedition holster pack, but I don't carry a gun in it. I do have that loaded with like first aid stuff that I'll carry with me, like somewhere if like we're going hiking or something. And it's got tourniquets in it. You can use almost anything for a turkey net. Yeah, I'd find something around. If I actually needed one like right away, there's going to be somebody around that has a scarf. There's going to be someone around that has a belt. I always have a belt on. I don't ever go without a belt, even if I don't need one. There's going to be rope or something around. I mean, like even if just, I don't know if you've ever done this, but I've done this. Just like if you're sitting at the mall waiting for someone to come out of a store or something, look around and go, oh, you know, that mannequin right there has a scarf on it. I could use that for something like a tourniquet or a sling in a bad situation. Oh, there's a rope belt on that person, that mannequin. I could use that. Oh, that store sells these things. I could use that for this in this bad situation. You know, it's fun. It'll burn through some time while you're sitting at the mall waiting for someone. So, yeah, it's just look around and see what you can use. How are the property taxes there? YKM. Who's YKM? If you're asking here for me, they're not the greatest in the world, but they're not bad up where I'm at. I was paying more in the city for a house that's half as big. Well, actually, it's not even half as big. Let's see. I had 1,350 square feet before. I have got, let's see, the main house is 2,500 square feet. This part is 1,800 square feet. It's all finished space now. So I got 4,300 square feet, 4,300 square feet now, and paying less taxes than I did on 1,350 before. Of course, I'm out in the middle of the boonies and can't get fancy internet, but you give and you get in life. I'm much happier up here with the slower internet than I am. I'm okay with you people seeing me fuzzy more so than I would be with living back in the city. And hell, you never know. Internet might get better out here eventually, and I'll welcome it if it does. But for now, I'll live with it. Let's see here. Yankee Marshall. Well, why would it be YKM? There's no K in there. There's a K in Yankee, but then why would it be YANKM? Yankum. That's a big trailer. It is a big trailer. I always tell people I worked all my life, worked hard from the time I was like 13 years old, basically. Worked hard my entire life so that I could realize my dream of someday living in a triple wide. Because it is a triple wide, kind of. It's not like a trailer or anything, but it's one of those houses they bring up in pieces and put it together. It's a manufactured home. So, it's like, here's the living room. Now we're stapling that to the kitchen. Now we're stapling that to the hallway. And, it's one of those things. They brought it up in like 8 pieces and put it together. You can look at the plans and you can see how it breaks down. If you look at it from above, you'd be like, oh, I can see how all the puzzle pieces break apart. They've all been nailed together like they were built together, but you can see how they come apart if you had to. Prefab. Probably meant yank me. I don't know what that is. Lexington Mall is pretty good. I used to go to the mall in Huntington Mall, which didn't make any sense because it wasn't in Huntington. I think it was in Ona, but it wasn't in Huntington, but they called it the Huntington Mall. But, that's how things go. Now I don't know what they call it. They call it something different now. But it was I went back not too long ago with my nieces and nephews. What a shitty little mall. It was garbage. But when I was a kid, I was like, well, I wasn't a kid. I was a teenager. When I was a teenager, I was like, hey, let's go to the mall. We got a big old mall up in Huntington. Let's go to the big old mall. It's garbage. And I'll go back to it. I'm like, as long as this thing's small, but it's got nothing in it. But when I was a kid, it was like the coolest place. When I was like 17, it's like, well, we got a mall. Let's go to the mall. Buy some records. I was always looking to buy some new records. I love music. For the longest time, the only place I could go was over to the Alcove in Gallipolis, Ohio to buy music because the stores in town wouldn't carry the music I like because they wouldn't sell it. Like you couldn't buy the Erotic City 45 for Prince anywhere in my town. They would not sell it. You had to go over to the Alcove, which was owned by this guy from, I forget where he's from, but he moved back to the small town to take care of his grandmother, and he's from a big city. And he's like, fuck, I'm going to carry the good music. And he carried the good music. So you had to go over there. If you wanted to get something like the Ramones or anything, you had to go over to his store. And that was literally riding a bicycle when I was a kid. And you had to ride across 2 bridges, but it would take about 8 hours to get there from where I live. But we would do it. Me and my friends would get together on a Saturday early in the morning, and we would ride the 8 hours to get to the Alcove. And then we would spend 20 minutes buying what we went there to get, which we would call them and make sure he had it first, having put it aside for us in a bag. And then we would go get it, and then we'd ride back. And we'd all go. It would be like 3 or 4 of us, and we'd all go. When one of us could just went and got everything, but we'd still all go make a day out of it, and ride there and ride back. And it'd be dark by the time we got back. My kids don't understand anything about that. Malls are crime magnets. Well, anywhere where there's a lot of people, because you got to have crime, you got to have victims. So if you like, if it's the middle of the nowhere, there's not really any victims. It's what's the point of being a criminal there? You're gonna rob the same guy 7 times. I also avoid Walmarts. I hate Walmart with a passion. It's depressing. Walmart is depressing. To even go in there, you're like, oh my God, I don't feel good now. But it does also have the reverse effect. You walk into a Walmart. I've always said you walk out with a little bit less faith in your fellow man. It just happens every time you go in one. You're going to see something that makes you think, we're probably doomed as a species. But you do feel one thing. You do feel smarter and better looking. Every time you go, at least I do when I go to Walmart, I'm like, wow, I'm probably the best looking, smartest person in here right now. And that's not being vain. That's just noticing that I'm the one person who's actually dressed appropriately for my weight or my gender or whatever. And I'm not saying if you dress inappropriately for your gender, like if you're a man dressed as a woman, if there's anything wrong with that. But if you're a 350-pound man dressed like a 120-pound woman, I'm not fond of that. If you're wearing like a two-piece and a wraparound thong thing and you're a 350-pound man, that's ugh. And it ain't got nothing to do with the gender. It's got to do with you're 350 fucking pounds. Start dressing like it. Because I always say people, you can't fat shame people. I'm like, why not? Being fat's something they did to themselves. I firmly believe you can give people shit about their decisions, like religion, political affiliations, weight, because that no one controls your weight but you. People are like, oh, good disease. Yeah, the disease where you stick too much fucking shit in your mouth all day long. I know. I overeat sometimes too. I think I'm 200 pounds. If I ate better, I'd be back like I was, 180 pounds in great shape. Well, not as great shape now because I'm falling apart. I'm old, but I ain't old enough to eat what I want or do what I want yet. That's when I get older. If I live to be 80, I'm gonna do whatever the fuck I want. I'm gonna eat whatever I want. I'm not gonna, like I said, I'm not gonna say that I'm gonna smoke heroin, but I'm definitely gonna snort it. So it's just do what I fucking want. Saw a very large woman wearing a thong outside her diaper. Yeah, that kind of stuff happens at Walmart. So I try to avoid them too. But there was a but to my story there. The only place in this part of town you can get good watermelon is Walmart. So I have to go to one store and get all the shit we need. Then I got to go to Walmart and buy the watermelons on the way home. So I do have to go in there like every 3 days. So I buy 3 watermelons at a time. Because that's about the maximum they'll keep and still be good. It's like 3 days later. Get into your 200 pounds, 6'1". That's not skinny. I'm not even 6'1" anymore. I've shrunk. I'm like 6.5 now because I've lost height since I was younger. I used to be a little over 6'1". Now I'm a little over 6 foot. So I've lost almost an inch. But at 200 pounds, I ain't skinny. My arms and legs are normal size. It's my ass and my belly. And like I said, I'm sway back, so it makes it look even worse. So I look like a fucking duck. I'm a duck who's loved, so I don't care. Got a good home. Do you spike your watermelon? No, I do put a little salt on it sometimes. If it's not a perfect watermelon, salt makes it better. If it's a perfect watermelon, it don't need any salt. Try inversion. What do you mean inversion? Like an inversion table? I got one of those right there. 12 gauge. No, I'm not doing them M4 mag desk pop. That would blow my bucket to pieces. Oh, no one has to said what do you want to see from the mag pop? If I do a mag pop today, what does anybody want to see? Do you want to see one of the gold bullets from the 1911? I don't know. Although I've done gold bullets before because I got those other gold bullets. I don't know who the fuck loaded them up. I don't know where they even came from. Everyone open carries where I live. I keep having argues to yank people guns and run off. What? I don't know what that means. A lot of people, I open carry up here where I'm at. I open carry a lot more. There's a lot of times up here, I'm just, especially through the summer, that I've just been in t-shirt, jeans, and an outside waistband holster because no one cares up here. I can ride up to the road. I can go down to the mercantile. I can do whatever. No one gives a shit. Like when I go to my kid's school here, I just take my gun out, stick it in the safe in my car, and I go in with my empty holster still on my side. I don't try to hide it. No one says a word. So up here, it's different than down in the city. People don't seem to care up here and I'm lazy. So if I don't have to cover it, I'm not going to cover it. If it's hot out, something, I'm just like, just pop that Kimber Aegis. No, I don't have to clean that again. Don't want to have to clean that right now. Rhino pop. People want a rhino pop. One person wants a rhino pop, I should say, not people. Desk pop 10 millimeter, and would you check your email before end of chat? Well, I check my email during chat all the time. I don't see anything from you if that's what you're saying. I don't see anything today from you, unless it's come under a different name. Unless it's come under a different name, I don't see anything from you. Have I got the Pistol Project recipient? Okay, yes, I do. Okay, I got that. So I'll have to read that here in a minute or two. Out in the sticks, it's more practical to open carry. Yeah, it's just, and it's more accepted, so it doesn't really bother me. And ain't no one gonna be coming up behind me and I got your gun out here, because I'll see them coming from the acres away, because there's no one near me out here. I got neighbors on both sides, but they're far enough away I can't ever really see what they're doing. They can't see what I'm doing. There's trees between us, so I don't think they're gonna run over and grab my gun, especially since one's an elderly female doctor on one side and the other side is like a hippie dude, Ross. Let's see here. Both of them seem very nice. I don't think they're going to steal my gun. Although the lady at the other end of the street lost a goat the other day. It was a little pygmy goat, and they can't find it, and it's gotten out. And I looked all over the place for it. Today she came, said she's missing her goat. I drove up into the woods, drove down all the paths, drove down the hill looking for that goat. Never could find it. And the more she's telling me about it, the more I'm like, I think your goat was taken. I don't think it got out and got lost. I think it was taken by a person or a thing, because we've had a cougar sighted on the trail cam a few times lately. One of our neighbors has trail cams all down the back of his property, and a cougar's been sighted walking up the hill a couple of times lately. I've never seen one in person since I got up here. I've seen bear several times, but no cougar. And I've seen bobcats a lot, but no cougar. And a bobcat wouldn't have been big enough to carry this goat over a fence, but a cougar would have hopped that fence, grabbed that goat, and hopped right back over. So I'm thinking it got lost to someone stealing her goat or something eating her goat. Not John Cougar. And besides, that's John Mellencamp. Cougar was just a stage name. And I like John Mellencamp. I'm a big fan. Little Pink Houses, Rain on the Scarecrow, Blood on the Paddle Plow. I like John Cougar. Luke Gerard just asked me if I have any experience with Sport Scouts and munitions. I answered that earlier. Yeah, I carry it. I saw a bald eagle eating a dead raccoon on the side of the road, and a car hit the eagle. Well, that's sad. That's very sad. Let's see here. Paper on Fire, Jack and Diane. Yeah, Jack and Diane was like his first big song, which was all right. I mean, I liked it, I guess, but it wasn't my favorite. I liked his later stuff when he started becoming John Mellencamp. Because first he was John Cougar, then he was John Cougar Mellencamp, then he was just John Mellencamp. I like the John Cougar Mellencamp through the John Mellencamp stuff best. This is as close as our age came to folk music, I think. Paper and Fire. Any idea when the shooting ban in Washington will end? I don't know. I can shoot on my property, they told me. There's not much they can really do to me. But I'm going to shoot them today because it's good and damp. And I'm like, well, they can come tell me to stop if they want, but no one did. So, and there's been people shooting out here every day. I mean, pretty much every day I've heard a few shots coming from back in the backwoods back here. If you go outside, you can't hear it if you're in your house, but if you go outside and you hear it, you'll hear it. But just like if you go outside, you can hear the fucking donkey that lives like a mile away. That fucker lives like a mile from me, and you can hear him every night. Rip James Yeager. Well, I still didn't know James Yeager died, but I don't think he's dead. I just think he's irrelevant. It's kind of like Alex Jones. I don't think he's dying. I just think he's becoming irrelevant because he's being forced away out. And I love all these people start talking about, oh, they do Alex Jones, they do the gunshot. Let's not make a false equivalency between Alex Jones and Second Amendment people. Alex Jones is a conspiracy nut who makes up shit to make money because it makes him millions of dollars to prey on people that are almost borderline mentally ill. And he tells lies that actually hurt people. He actually libels and slanders people. So we don't do that as gun people. We just talk about guns. So let's not make that false equivalency between us and Alex Jones. That's like saying, well, if they take down the pedophile videos, well, then they'll take down our gun videos. No, it's two totally different things. Alex Jones is totally different than us. Most of the people I know that actually watch Alex Jones watch him for the comedy factor, not because they believe anything he says. October Rain donated $2 but didn't ask anything. No one else says that Alex is a liar. Yeah, Alex Jones has been proven a liar many times. He loses cases all the time. Just all the time, there's very small amount of damages, so it doesn't really matter because he makes millions selling everybody snake oil. Like, you're going to lose any weight unless you buy this. Or like, oh, the government's poisoning your water. We'll be right back after this message from someone that sells you a filter that will stop the government from poisoning your water. He's a fucking snake oil salesman who doesn't believe the shit he says. He's fucking Morton Downey for our for the nut jobs. I have a right to hear conspiracy comedy. Yeah, it's comedy. That's what it is to me too. He is a big liar. Yeah, he's a horrible liar. He just makes shit up. Yeah, Alex Jones is a patriot. Please buy the water filters and male vitality pills that are nothing. And that doctor friend of his, oh my God, what the fuck is that about? It's scary and funny at the same time. But what's really scary is that some people believe that shit. Some people watch him and think he's telling the truth and they're trying to silence him. And on those people, I'm like, shouldn't you get back to the home before someone notices you're missing? I bought the filters that keep my frogs from becoming gay. I want my frogs gay. No, nothing better than gay frogs. Gay frogs, they fix up the pond. Straight frogs, you just end up with a bunch of other frogs and like old Tonka trucks up on blocks out in the front of the pond. I want some gay frogs in there. Alien gear, good or bad? I'm going to say good. I've actually had some experience with him now, and I'm actually good. He could be telling the truth. Well, yeah, but so could the crazy person down in the corner that's telling us that dinosaurs are coming back to eat us. So, anybody could be telling the truth, but whether they likely are, that's a totally different thing. Homosexual frogs taste better. I don't know. I've never noticed the difference. I used to eat a lot of frog. We used to go frog gigging a lot, and we'd have frog legs quite a bit. I grew up on them. Oh, deep fried frog legs are awesome. If you've never had breaded and fried frog legs, you're missing out because they're good. Turtle's good. We used to eat all that shit. We're Southern, sort of. I mean, we're a northern state, but my family heritage is Southern. And yes, West Virginia's a northern state. If we weren't northern, we wouldn't be West Virginia. We'd still fucking be Virginia. So yeah, we ate a lot of that shit. Someone's wanting me to talk about the police officer that went into the wrong apartment and shot someone. Yeah, that's just stupid. It's just stupid. I mean, is it murder? No, it's not like murder because she did something stupid. She did something else stupid. And I've done that before. I've went into the wrong apartment before because I remember once we were carrying groceries up the steps to our apartment and I opened the front door to go in and I'm like, well, there's people sleeping on the floor in my apartment. And then I'm like, this ain't my apartment. And I'm like, sorry. And it took me like a split second to make that decision of, hey, this ain't my apartment. Sorry. And backed out and was one staircase off going into our apartment. She made the mistake of going to the wrong apartment and then didn't have the sense to be like, this isn't my apartment, and actually shot and killed somebody. So she should go to jail, but it's negligence, not premeditated intent. So it's not like murder, but it is like negligent homicide. So I think she should go to jail. I don't care. Oh, she's a woman and she's a cop. And I'm like, I don't give a fuck. She should go to jail. Let's see here. I got to read the thing here in a second. Let's see what he said. He sent me an email to his under his real name. No, is it? Let's see here. Trying to see. Someone sent me a list. He said I sent it under my real name, and it was said Sunday Chat or something. Let me see if I can find it. Aha, here it is. Hey, Yankee, do you own or have you owned any milsurp rifles or handguns? If so, what? If not, why? Then why not? And have you ever owned a 10 gauge shotgun? P.S. Love the SIG. 1911. I have not owned a 10 gauge shotgun. My grandfather did. I haven't. I don't even like shooting 12 gauge all that much. Do I own any mil-strip rifles or handguns? No. Mainly because I just don't get into it. I have owned them in the past. My dad used to buy those things. My dad and uncles used to buy those things by the crates and resell them. Or my uncles mostly. But that's back when they were cheap and you can get them cheap. I remember my dad used to have one every night all the time that he got new from buying out of those crates. But they don't appeal to me much. I'm more of a handgun person. And I think that a lot of the older mil-serp handguns aren't that good of quality. And I don't buy handguns usually to appreciate the history. I'm not a handgun history buff. There's people that are history buffs. There's people that are what I'd call tech nerds when it comes to handguns, like the mechanics of the gun. And then there's people that that appreciate the artistic form of the gun. I'm more the technology and the form kind of a person, and that doesn't really translate well into mil-serp guns. So it's not my thing. It's 6 o'clock, so I got to read the TYMP Pistol Project winner. Okay, this is the entry from the winner, and the winner says, not winner, beneficiary. It is hard for me to ask for help, but after talking this over with my wife, maybe with this situation and the amount of hell we've been through lately, just maybe this time it's okay to ask for a little help. It's hard for me because I have always enjoyed helping others. I never in my life thought I would be dealt a hand like this before. Before the accident, we had enough money to save up. If something happened, we would be okay. We never thought an accident like this would ever happen to our family, though. I was working 80 plus hours a week in the oil field and was on like 14 weeks straight with almost no days off, and I fell asleep on the way to work. I came off the road and hit an oak tree head on. Along with the copious injuries sustained, the biggest one was it left me permanently paralyzed from the mid torso down. Well, that sucks. I think my wife said she had listed just how extensive my injuries were in a previous email. There is no explanation as to how I even survived. Not one person thought I'd pull through it, but I did. Surprised of everyone we would have been in a better situation monetarily if our wonderful government had not denied my SSDI application twice. I guess they figured I was faking being paralyzed. It's a little hard to fake that. Just go up and stick you with a pin, see if you're faking. I was the sole provider for my family, so when the accident happened, the bills didn't stop coming in. 5 months of bills with no income, plus almost 5 months of hotels and other expenses, so my wife could be in Dallas, close by the hospital. That's not even to mention the medical bills. Everything combined ate through our savings so fast and unbelievable. Finally, after coming home and being denied Social Security SSDI for a second time, it put us trying to stay afloat with almost nothing. So I made the decision and sold my gun collection so that the family could survive. It killed me to sell them, but it hurt my family. But my family was more important. We lost everything that my wife and I have been working for since we were 18. Now, we are now in a better position and are surviving with finally receiving SSDI. And I also work a part-time job, and my wife started working. We were able to keep our heads above water, but not enough to just go and buy a handgun. It's kind of pointless to have a carry license and nothing to carry. If you guys feel I deserve help, then I could not be more grateful. You guys are amazing for what you do. Thanks for the generosity. Sincerely, Nick K. So Nick K, you are the winner. And believe me, that falling asleep driving to work thing, that I know what that feels like. I used to have a very challenging schedule, shall we say. I lived in Charleston, West Virginia, for anyone who knows the area. I lived in Charleston, West Virginia. Then I'd have to drive to Cross Lanes to report for duty. Then I'd drive to Huntington to Marshall to go to school. And then when I got off school, I would drive to Galplis, Ohio to do work towards my degree working in social services. And then I'd get off there late at night and drive all the way back to Charleston and start the whole thing over again with about 5 hours sleep every night, and then driving hours every day, because that's about 100 miles, 60 miles, 100 miles every day. I fell asleep so many times driving. I used to drive with the music blaring, the windows open, and it's 30 degrees outside, trying to stay awake just enough to get home. So many times I woke up doing the thump, 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 I'm off the road. And luckily I never ran into anything or anybody else. But it was just a trying time. I don't know how I did it as a younger person, but I couldn't do it now. So I understand that. So Nick K, you are the winner or the beneficiary this week. Just give us your information. Actually, Vincenzo Lamberto will send you an email, and we will get that back from you. And I'll get it sent out Tuesday, or get it bought Tuesday. I don't mean it'll actually leave. What was this? Tourette's Texan. Hey, Yankee, have you seen the badge cam footage in the Cincinnati shooting? One of the cops had an AR, but the mag was out of battery and apparently fell out at some point. So the cop got only one shot off and had to switch to his sidearm. Any thoughts on this? Well, I know because I haven't seen it, but come on, get your mag in. There's some, I'm sure there's a lot of us here that's had trouble getting their mag in every now and then, but get it in if you're going to be doing that. Okay, that's tonight's chat. Thanks to everyone who showed up. Thanks to everyone who supports the TYMP Pistol Project, even though there's fewer of you every month. I'll do something with these stickers next week, and maybe even try to have a guest. I don't know if I can think of anything to talk about. I'll let you know ahead of time if I do. And I've got to go to the bathroom really bad. I don't know if you know, but I've been a little fidgety for like the last 20 minutes. So there's a reason. Thanks to everyone for coming. Thanks to everyone that helped support the project. And I will see you all again on this Thursday. So we'll probably be doing something with the stickers this Thursday. So until then, I'll just say once again, thanks for everything, and see you tomorrow, or not tomorrow, Thursday.